Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So before we start the video, you can show your support for this channel by subscribing. That helps a lot for this channel to grow. Okay. So one more thing before we start the video. So basically I have this batch 2 running for the DevSecOps and Cloud DevOps course. So if you are interested, you can enroll in this course and that will help you a lot if you are going to give interviews, because in this course we are going to study everything from scratch and also to utilize the whole 7 days of a week. What we are going to do is study live sessions on weekends, and on weekdays I'm going to share you recorded videos. So since like so many people in our course, they are like working also, so if I share recorded videos on weekdays, then they can, as per their availability, they can watch the recorded videos, practice the implementation, and in that way we can utilize the whole week. Okay, so this is the way that I am going to teach. So if you are interested and if you want to learn, the cost is 6,000, which is not so much as per the syllabus, because we have a very big syllabus. We cover almost every single thing that is required for a DevOps engineer to go for interview. Okay, so yeah, you can just go ahead. The link will be in the description. Also the syllabus, what we are going to cover, that also will be in the description. Okay, so coming to today's topic, so in day 3 we covered file handling in Python. Okay, how to create files, how to manage, how to create folders and all. Today what we are going to study is, first of all, we are going to study taking inputs from user in Python. Secondly, we are going to learn if-else statement, elif statement, like that. And then we are going to study the loops. In loops we are going to cover for loop, while loop and until loop. Okay, yeah. So let's start with the first thing, like how can we take input from user. Okay, so let's say for that I have a variable created a. Okay, and to make sure that we are taking the value of this a, not directly we are providing it here. Instead we are asking the user to put it on the runtime. Okay, what we can do, we can use this function input, and here you can, let's say you can put any message like enter a name. Okay, in that way. Okay, and yes, this is done. Okay, now let's say I want to print it. I can just put this. Okay, or else I can just write in detail user entered name. Okay, in this way. Now let me save this. If I run this command, see, now if you can see the screen, you can see here, first of all it is asking me to write a name, so I will write Aditya. Okay, click enter and you can see it gave the output user entered name Aditya. Okay, so in this way we can take the input from user. Okay, now one thing that you should notice here, by default it is taking the input in the form of string. Okay, so what should we do in case we want to have the input in the form of, let's say, a number or integer, or you can say float also. Okay, so first of all what I will do, I will change this statement. This statement does not have any effect, just for the cosmetics purpose I'm putting this statement. Okay, enter a number. Okay, and here I can put user entered number, this. Okay, now here, to make sure that we are taking a integer format input, what we can do, we can use an int function in this format, int, and we will close it here. Okay, now if I save this file and let's run it again, enter a number. Let's say I write 34, enter, and user entered the number 34. Okay, let's see what happens if you write some non-integer function or non-integer value. Okay, so if I run it again, enter a number, let's say I write something this, and you see it is giving an error. Okay, because it is invalid literal, because we are supposed to have integer for this input, right? Same thing what we can do, basically if you want to have float input, we can write in this format, float. Let's save the file, and if I execute the command, it will ask for a number. Okay, so if I put 3 point something something, then it is like float number, so it's fine. Okay, in case if I put something like a 3 4 just out, that is also fine, because 34.0, it can be also considered as a float number. But the problem will appear when I write some string format value, okay, which gives the error. Okay, Okay, so now you understood the easiest way in which you can get value from user using the input method. Okay, that you should remember. In short, I can write in this format, like let me put it in a comment: input this. So this is the function that will be used, function or method that will be used for taking inputs from user. Okay. Okay, now coming to next thing, which is I wanted to teach you about the control statements. Okay, in control statements we have if else statement first of all. Okay, let me comment all this. Okay, yeah. So I guess like if else statement most of you have already used. Okay, what happens, like you can write a condition if this then this. Okay, how do we use it in Python? For example, let's say age equal to, let's say I have value 18. Okay, and I want to make sure ki I want to check if a user is adult or not adult. Okay, so I can write a condition if age greater than equal to 18. Okay, and see to like consider ki okay, this is the if statement completed, we can put colon, enter, and see when I pressed enter, automatically it took a little space here. Why? Because as I told, we have a, like the steps that we are going to write here, that is going to be the part of if block. Okay, so here what we can do, we can write print double quotes, you can write user is adult. Okay, okay, this is done. Next, say else condition also we are having, right? So for that, what we can do, we can write it in next line and see. Make sure you understand the indentation. I'm not sure like if I can increase the size. Okay, indentation, by that I mean this much you can understand. Okay, this is if block. Okay, since we are writing this print statement after a certain tab space. For example, if I go here, if I press tab, it goes here. Okay, like one or two steps it has taken using tab. So that is the if statement. Okay, till here. Next, to write else statement, again to close this part, colon, enter, and enter, it will automatically take a proper indentation. Okay, then I can write print double quotes user is not adult. Okay, okay, let's say I put the value, instead of 18 I'm putting the value as 23. So we should be getting the response that user is adult, right? So let us run that. Okay, here you can see we got the response user is adult. Okay, now one thing that I just studied, I taught you how you can use the input method, right? So instead of directly putting the value here, instead of that, what we can do, we can use integer because the age will always be in integral format. Okay, so integer, then this, then we will use input function. Okay, and inside it we will write a message, enter your age. Okay, in this way. So basically this looks good. Okay, so let me save this, and if I run this again, it is asking for age. Let's say my age is 12. Okay, click enter, and user is not adult. Okay, so in this way you can use control like if else statement. It is very simple. Okay, and yeah, again, since see, this is what I should try to like make you explain that for example, like we first covered input, like how to take input from user, then we can integrate it with our another example. Okay, same thing we will be doing afterwards. Okay, okay, so let's say ki, instead of using just if else, we are having multiple conditions. Okay, in that multiple conditions, what should we do? Okay, we cannot write again and again if else like that, right? So in case of multiple what is that, in case of multiple conditions, we have another option to do. For example, let's create something like scoring system. Let's try with. So I will create a variable score. Okay, and here will be, okay, we don't need to put anything here. Okay, or maybe let us put enter your score. Okay, okay, and here we can write if score is greater than equal to 90. Okay, so in that case we can print, that grade is A. Okay, we can write grade A. Okay, Okay, as I told you, there could be so many conditions. So if we are having multiple conditions, we could use if, then after that we could use elif. Okay, elif means basically else and if, okay, together. So the short way to write it in is elif. Okay, so in elif we can write the second condition, which could be if score is greater than equal to 80. In that case, what would be the grade? The grade would be grade B. Okay, and same this elif condition, as I said, there could be multiple. So I can just copy paste this, and here let's say I want to put here the value will be 70 and grade will be C. Okay, and last statement we can write, ending statement will be else. So here you can see we are using multiple condition, and in case of multiple condition we could use elif. Okay, and here we can simply print let's say grade F. Okay, so this is how we will write the like elif statement. If we are having multiple conditions, then this program is written in order to handle multiple conditions. Okay, let me save this, and again I can run this program. Enter my score. Okay, so I can write 65. Okay, and my grade is F. Okay, same thing if I try to run again, I can put like 97, then grade is A. Okay, so you got the point how we can use elif statement. If you are having multiple conditions, we should go for elif statement. Okay, so next up we are going to study nested if statements. Okay, so if we are having condition inside condition, then that is called known as nested if. Okay, for example, let's we have taken two variable x and y, 10 and 5 value. Okay, first condition that we are checking, if x greater than y. If x is greater than y, then in that case we can print x is greater than y. Okay, so okay, second condition, if x is greater than 15. Okay, if first condition is successful or true, then it moves to second condition. Okay, which is if x is greater than 15. Okay, if it is true, then it will print x is also greater than 15, else it will print x is not greater than 15. Okay, and to these two conditions Python will reach only if this condition is true. Else if this condition is false, it will go to here and it will print this one. Okay, let me show you. If I just execute this, okay, sorry, I did not save, I guess. Yeah, now saved. Clear the screen. Okay, here you can see x is greater than y and x is not greater than 15. If I put like 17, save this, run it again, it will give x is greater than y, x is also greater than 15. Okay, so here you can understand we are having if else statement, basically nested means inside another if or else. Okay, you can see this. So this is like nested if else statement, and three kind of control statement is studied. Okay, first was if else statement, normal statements, second elif statement in case of multiple conditions, and finally we have the nested statements. Okay, nested statements like we could use if and else statement inside another if else statement. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about now loops. In loops we have for loop, then we have while loop. Okay, and then we could have break and continue also. Okay, so let me explain you what exactly they are and how we will work with that. Okay, let me remove this, then we can get started. Okay, let's say we are having a list. Okay, let's say write the list fruits equal to, inside it we can have apple. Okay, and then we could have another fruit like banana. Okay, and we could have another fruit which could be like cherry. Okay, so we have this list ready. Next, let's say I want to iterate through it. Okay, because if I want to print everything, it will take a lot of time if I'm going to print in the old fashioned way through using index, by going 0 index, then going to first index, then going to second index. Okay, so in that case what we can do, we can iterate through it using for statement. How do we do that? let's say I will write for, and here you can write name of anything, any variable after for. Let's say I will write just like x. Okay, for x in the set, list, or tuple or dictionary where you want to iterate. Here we are iterating through list named fruits, so we will write fruits. Okay, once you write fruits, then put this colon, that means end. Okay, and the block of this for loop will be having these statements here. So what statements I want to write? Basically I want to print. So how I can print? We can print in this format, print, and here I will just write the variable that I took. Variable is x, right? Because we are iterating through this fruits list using x. Okay, now let's say what happens if I run this. Okay, you can see what happened. It printed every single element of this list. All the fruits are printed. Basically we just ran a for loop. The format of running this for loop is this. Okay, for any variable you can put here in the actual list tuple or any other thing inside which you want to iterate through elements. Okay, so this is list and I want to iterate through this list. Okay, so this is like basic example of for loop. Okay, now let me give you, see, right now I have given you basic example, but at the end of this session I will give you like one example that covers for loop, other loops also. Okay, if else statement including, so that will help a lot. Okay, for example, let's say another thing. Okay, let's say I want to take another list number. Okay, number will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and let's say I want to use for loop, another one, and here for loop I want to take I in, what is the name of the list? It's number. We want to iterate through number, right? Okay, here what I will write? I will write print I. Okay, and next let's say I want to take another step, which will be yeah, this is fine. Okay, this is similar to previous one, but just to showcase you like what exactly we are doing. We are just printing the elements. Okay, so I will save this and I can run this, and you can see it printed the first it ran for this, printed the elements, and secondly it ran all the elements of second list, which is number. Okay, so in this way you can use a for loop. Okay, and let me remove this. Now let's talk about while loop. Okay, so while loop, we can use while loops to repeatedly execute a block of code while the condition is true. So while the condition is true, that till that time our program will execute. Okay, let me show you an example. Let's say I will use a variable count, put its value at 0. Okay, and let's say I want to create a condition while count is less than 5. Okay, and colon for blocking it. Okay, then print, we are going to print the element which will be count. Okay, and next thing that we are putting is count plus equal to 1. That means each time it like this count comes. Okay, first like it is 0, what will happen? First it will 0, the condition will check while the condition is true, so 0 is less than 5, correct? It will print count, that is it will print 0. The next step we are taking is count plus count equal to count. This basically let me show you what it means. Okay, this basically means count equal to count plus 1. Okay, this previous statement means. Okay, so each time we are printing the current value, we are adding 1 into it. Okay, so what will happen? It will print 1 0 1 2 3 till 4 it should be printing. Okay, so let me show you. Now one thing that you should know, this will execute while the condition is true, right? Like until this condition is true, then only this will execute. Now if I execute this, you can see 0 to 4 it is able to print. As soon as the condition became false, it stopped printing. Okay, so this is example of while loop, which you should know. See, the reason that I'm giving you basic example, so that you can understand the core, how exactly these commands are written, the format, exact format. Okay, okay, so let's talk about break and continue now. Okay, basically break can be used to skip out of a block completely, and continue a keyword can be used to skip the current condition and then move to next one. Okay, and let me show you through example because it will become more clear through that. So let's say I am creating a for loop for I in range function. So I'm going to use range function. So inside range, whatever value you put, that range, it means it will take the initial 10 values, that is 0 to 9. It will start from 0 because we are using circle brackets, so it will start from 0. This is the condition I'm first for loop I'm creating. Okay, next condition I'm going to use if I equal to 5. In that condition, what I want, that it should be like we will be using break statement here. Okay, break. So if I'm using break on this condition, if I is equal to 5, what it will do, it will completely come out of this for block. Okay, so let me show you how it will be looking. So I can just write print and then I. Okay, so it will just print the I. Okay, until like as soon as I be equal to 5, whole thing will be like the Python will just come out of it, this whole block, and we won't be running afterwards. Okay, let me show you first. Let me save it, and if I run the command again, you can see it started from 0, then 0 is not equal to 5, correct? Then print I. 0 is not equal to 3, 4, something, print that. Okay, as soon as it becomes like the value of I becomes 5, then 5 is equal to 5. That means we are going to work with break. So as soon as it reaches to break, it will just come out of this whole for okay, for block. So that is how like break will work. It will immediately, it will just take you out of it. Okay, now let's talk about continue. So let me just copy the same thing and I will paste it here. Now here basically I'm going to use continue instead of break. Continue, that will make more it will remove all the confusion in this way if you are running the program. So before running both of them, let me run first continue. Okay, so we can see what happens. Okay, here as I told ki in continue, what basically happens, it will skip the current condition and then it will continue. So as soon as I becomes equal to 5, it will skip the stage I. Okay, so it will not be printing I like 5, and then it will continue again. Let me show you how it will look. Now you see it started from 0 because we have range. Okay, started from 0, and after 4 you can see it directly jumped to 6 because 5 was the condition where continue was to be implemented. That means it is going to skip the current condition. Okay, and if we talk about break, so if I run break, let me show you what will happen there. If I run this, here you can see it started from 0 to 4. As soon as it became equal to 5, break means completely abandon this loop and come out of it. Okay, end of it. Okay, you can see till after 4 it did not run. While in continue what happened, it skipped the only condition it was like continue was applied to. Okay, yeah, so break and continue, they will work in this way. Break will basically just take you out of the loop completely, abandon that loop completely. Okay, and then for continue, it will just skip the current condition on which the condition was implemented. Okay, good. So break and continue, I hope you understood what exactly they are. Okay, now what I wanted to tell you is about looping through dictionaries. Okay, we have studied the data type dictionary. So today let me show you how we can loop through dictionary. Okay, so let me remove all this. Okay, and let us create a dictionary first. So I'm gonna create a dictionary as person equal to curly braces, single quotes, name, and I can provide the value of the name as John. Okay, second key value pair which we are going to have is the age. Okay, age, it will be 30. Fine. Okay, next we can have city, and inside city we can have New York. Yeah, okay, so this is the dictionary we have created. Okay, so inside a dictionary also we could use for loop. How we will do, we can run in this format: for key comma value, because dictionary is basically consist of key and value pair, right? This is key, this is value, this is key, this is value, right? So we are going to take two variables for iterating, and here I will write in person dot items. Okay, so how we are using items, because it's a you can see it's a function available, this item function, set like object providing a view on d items. Okay, so yeah, that is why we can use the item method or function. Okay, next, what we can basically print everything from it. Print, then we will write this format f. Okay, and the value of the key pair. Okay, right, so this is done. Now the question that you might be thinking is, what exactly is this f, right? So let me explain you that this f basically refers to the way in which like using this f we can basically embed key and value inside a string. Okay, for that only we are using, because we are basically going to print two values as a string. Okay, so yeah, if I save this file and if I execute it, you can see everything was printed. Each item in this dictionary was printed with his key and value, right? So in this way we can iterate through dictionary also using a for loop. Got it? Okay, so next what I wanted to talk about is loop control with else. Okay, let me show you how we can do that. See, in Python most of the things will become more clear with examples. Okay, so basically what we will do in loop control with else, we can use an else block with a loop which will execute when the loop completes without hitting a break. Okay, let me show you the example. For I in range, we are going to use range function, and this time we are going to take 5. That means 0 to 4. Okay, and here I will just print the value of I, which will be from like in the range 5. Okay, so with this I'm going to use else statement. We are using for with else statement. So if this does not work, then what will happen, this statement that I'm going to put here, that is going to be completed. Let me show you. Print loop completed without a break. Okay, so one mistake, sorry. Yeah, let me explain again. So see, this basically when we are using else with for loop, so this statement will, this else will execute only when this for loop executed without any break. Okay, break I already explained you. If break comes on a certain condition, then it will just take out of the loop completely, like abandon the loop, come out of the loop completely. Okay, and if there is no break condition, then it will run complete loop of full time. Okay, and after that it will go to this else statement and then it will print. So let me execute it and then you will see the results. Okay, see, since the control of this for loop was completely executed properly, that's why we have else statement. Okay, if for example let's say we have certain condition, if I equal to let's say 3. Okay, in that I want, yeah, in that I want break. Okay, in that I want break, so we will put the break. We have put the break. Let me save this, and if I run this now, see, now since there was a break statement inside for loop, so now our else statement won't be running. Okay, so that means when we are using else statement with for loop, then it will run only when there is no break break inside the for loop. If there is a break, then it won't run. Okay, so for else statement to be running, there shouldn't be any break. Got it? Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is how like you can understand like today what we covered. Today we covered how to take inputs from user, how to write if else statement, how to write elif statement, how to work with control loops, sorry, how to work with loops like for loop, then we did with while loop, then we understood loop control with else. Okay, and then also we understood how we can loop through dictionaries. Okay, and we also studied break and continue. So these are very nice examples. Okay, now what I wanted to show you a very example that covers all these topics together. Okay, so let me show you that as well. So next up team, what we are going to do is you can see this is simple program which covers most of the topics that we studied today. Okay, first what we are using is taking input from user. There we are going to use input function, and input function should be inside int function so that we can take the input in the form of integer only. Okay, next we are using if else statement for checking if a number is even or odd. For that we can use the condition user input whatever like value user is putting, then modulus 2. If it is equal to 0, then we will write it is a even number. If it's not equal to 0, then it's like odd number. Okay, basically you are using f double quotes. This is because f we are using to like convert this into a string, embed this into inside a string. Okay, we are using the you can see we are using the variable in the in this format. Okay, so if you want to like embed a variable inside a string, so you can go ahead and do this. Okay, next program which we are using is a for loop to print numbers from 1 to user input number. Okay, so it will just simply print the number and inside the range. So range, basically what we are doing usually, like, you know, like when we use range function, it takes a value from 0 and it goes till number -1. Okay, but you can customize the range function. For example, here I'm defining ki first number it should be 1 and end should be user input plus 1. Okay, so let me save this and let us run this integer. So let's write like maybe 10 would be fine, and you can see 10 is the even number, numbers from 1 to 10, so 1 to 10 it was able to print. Okay, so this is good. And yeah, so these are the some topics that we studied in Python today. And yeah, so that's all for today, and let's see you the next session. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.